Hi everybody, it's David Porter again, and this afternoon I want to share some further thoughts on multi-level marketing, which I mentioned in a prior, I made up a new word, a previous video addressing a type of white-collar crime. So I went to high school with this guy, and we went to community college together and kind of lost touch after that. He went off to college out of state, and I went to college in state, so we kind of lost touch. And I can't remember whether I called him or he looked me up a few years later, and he sounded like he had been hypnotized. He sounded like he was in a trance. He sounded brainwashed. The tone of his voice was alarming. And here's what was happening. He had been enticed by a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, and he had been completely taken in. They got him. He had completely surrendered his will to their ideology in a very alarming manner. And it was not, so how are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing after college? It wasn't any of that. It was him trying to entice me to participate in this multi-level marketing scheme and giving me great reassurance about the legitimacy and about the money-making potential. Spoke in this very soothing, assured voice. And again, it sounded like he was in a trance. He sounded like he was hypnotized. It was very disturbing. We lost touch after that, and I haven't heard from him since. But I hope he's doing okay, because he had really been taken in by something. And here's something, another note on multi-level marketing schemes. When I lived in upstate New York, mid-90s, late 90s, I would frequent a Starbucks that was downtown. And at the time, I was working for the State University of New York, and I would go there to grade papers. I had a great deal of flexibility in my schedule. I would teach my classes. It was actually an online model through SUNY, State University of New York, really pioneering the distance learning model of education that's become so commonly utilized today. So I would have maximum flexibility as far as interacting with my students, and I'd always have a stack of papers. And yes, they would hard copy mail me papers. Sometimes they would email me papers. So I'd wind up in Starbucks grading papers. And I would frequently see this man there, and he would approach me and try to engage me in conversation. I brushed him off all the time. I wasn't interested in whatever it is he was talking about. And I watched him approach other customers, and he was inexorable. He was relentless. He was very persistent. And he would engage people in discussion and eventually come around to this phrase. So, do you keep yourself open to alternative sources of income? And that is the phrase indicating it's the opening line to an introduction to the multi-level marketing concept, pyramid scheme concept. And he really, really kept trying with me. I blew him off all the time, so I completely ignored him and didn't even acknowledge him. And here's the thing, everybody. You don't want to be an asshole. You don't want to be rude. You want to be polite. Someone says that you see around at the Starbucks says hi to you. Hey, how you doing? You don't want to be an asshole. You want to, hey, I'm all right. How are you doing? You want to have good manners and social skills. Return their greeting. Make small talk and chat, and that is a completely normal aspect of human interaction and bonding and attachment. And we human beings, I know it's a cliche, but it's true, we are social creatures. We are hardwired for social interaction. According to evolutionary psychology, and who knows, this is all post hoc, theory because there are no cavemen to interview and ask them if this is how things went. But according to evolutionary psychology, it was critical that you were accepted by your tribe, your group, your social circle, as we call it today. To be shunned or rejected or expelled from your social group meant certain death. You could not survive on your own. So according to the evolutionary theory of psychology, that is so hardwired into us, we are going to respond to invitations for social interaction. And it is only an individual who is either very shy or timid, or socially phobic, or an extreme introvert like me, or just somebody rude and just somebody rude and ill-mannered who that is not going to respond to a invitation to social interaction. And here's the thing, everybody, it is completely normal to do that, as I've outlined, but it is also a tool that predators use. Okay? Listen, that's very important. It'll keep you safe. This information will keep you safe. It is a tool that predators use. That weaponization of the bonding, attachment, connection process. And that's what I watched this guy do. Eventually, I got to the point where I just ignored him and wouldn't even acknowledge him. He would say something to me and I wouldn't even look at him. And here's the thing. I am 99% sure that this man who approached me and so many other people in the late 90s in upstate New York with this multi-level marketing scheme, I am pretty sure he is the cult leader of Nixium, which has been in the news. It's been in the media a great deal. This was the cult supposedly for business women, women who were entrepreneurs or in middle to upper level management. And it was all about motivation and success and personal growth and development. And what it was this cult leader getting a collection of wealthy, professional, and all nearly uniformly very good-looking women that he would use as pretty much as sex slaves and for financial exploitation. And he branded them, and that is not a metaphor. He branded them. The women would brand another woman, apply a hot metal to her at the waistline, and resulting in a third-degree burn. Or that may not be right. Maybe second-degree burn, whatever. But a severe burn that would leave a permanent scar right on the waistline, where it would be very painful and uncomfortable and probably would not heal well for a long time, because of course that is where your belt and your pants are going to be, right at the waistline. This beauty was eventually caught, and he is currently serving a 120-year sentence. There have been a number of people in the upper levels of his organization, and it's questionable if they are participants or victims. That is questionable, but they're looking at some very serious felony charges, multiple felony charges. But anyhow, I am 99% sure this is the same guy. His voice, his height, his presentation, it all fits. And apparently during that time period that I mentioned, he was living very nearby to that part of New York, the upstate New York that I'm referring to, and was involved in recruiting people into a multi-level marketing scheme, which, like all MLM schemes, financially collapsed in short order. But I am so sure this is the same guy. And I guess he upped his game to go from a multi-level marketing scheme to a cult. So everybody, beware of multi-level marketing schemes. Beware of groupthink and enticement into a ideology. And beware of predatory individuals who will use the social bonding, attachment, connection process in order to further their own means. So, everyone, thank you for watching, and please be safe and hit subscribe.